BWOne here from BWOne, and this is the HTC One M9. And what you're going to find here, that this is a pretty cool device. It's mostly an incremental upgrade than full brand new flagship come from HTC, which has some pretty high points and some low points as well too, which makes a bit of a mixed bag. But let's start off with the high points here, talking about pretty much the build quality on the HTC One M9. It is a solid built device, all metal. As you can see right here, there's something that HTC has kept going since the One M7 here and with the One M8 here. And if you really look closely, you can pick up the One M8 here, you can see that the design and look is very similar to each other. So it seems like HTC didn't want to change too far from it, but the biggest changes are obviously the cameras, which you can see here are a little bit different, which we'll get into in just a second. And this actually, the One M9 actually has a different type of coating on the back of it that makes it less slippery as well too. And it's a little bit shorter than the One M8 as well. They've also changed the button placement around, which they moved the power button, for which on the One M8 was here at the top, to the side to make it a little bit more accessible, and they split the volume keys as well here on the side. But I think this makes this a little busy here on the side with the One M9. I would have liked to see them instead pretty much keep that one long button, move this up a little higher, move all this, the card trays over here to this side, which is where the other card tray here is as well. And it gives it a little more of a streamlined look, because I think this is a little bit low for a power button. Depending on your hand size, I obviously have big hands, so a little different from me, but I would like to see them kind of move this up and keep that one long button. I think it would have been a little bit better there. But other than that, you have a great body and great look, and it's just something that's going to be stunning and stand out in your hand when you have a One M9. And also, if you get the silver version, you get a nice gold trim that goes around it as well too. Gives it a nice premium look too, which I think a lot of people will like. Now let's talk about the second most important thing, and really one of the biggest changes is the camera department. They've gone away from the duo camera, but they still have ultra pixel. The ultra pixel camera is here on the front, but on the back here they have a traditional 20 megapixel camera here on the back with a sapphire glass cover on top of it to protect it, so you don't have to worry about scratches and such. Still has the same two-tone flash as well too. Now you would think with 20 megapixels they've kind of stepped things up, but it's a bit of a mixed bag here with HTC One M9's 20 megapixel camera. You'll see that you get mixed results with the camera quality. It isn't necessarily the best. Low light definitely production isn't good. Actually, the One M8's low light production is actually a whole lot better, I feel. And also you can take a look here at some of the video that we're going to show with this. We've included a 1080p video sample for you guys to kind of take a look at and listen to, but we do have a 4K sample up as well too, so definitely check that out.
So we have a noisy Sunday morning here in Boston. We're doing a 1080p sample here with the HTC One M9. Include this here in the video review so you can kind of check out what 1080p quality is, because a lot of people will still be recording in that. We do have a 4K video sample available up on the channel, so you can definitely check that out. Because you can see the audio quality is very good. I'm pretty sure you can hear all that loud bus noise over there, but the video quality can leave a little bit to desire. You can check out some of the motion. That's kind of some cars coming by there. Let's see here. You got to make sure you have the right lighting, definitely with the One M9 here. See a few of those cars going by. And stabilization isn't the greatest. We'll see that go by. And what we'll do is we'll try to zoom in on that 177 if we can. You can see it gets really pixelated and really shaky there, unfortunately. But this is just a quick video sample here with the One M9 in 1080p. Be sure to check out the 4K sample, and let's get back to finishing up this review.
As you notice there, the video quality, even in 1080p, is not as great as you would like it to be, especially in a flagship phone you would expect in 2015. Now, while the camera is a bit on the disappointing side, you do have some pretty cool effects and such that you can use inside the camera software. You can do different photo shapes, you can do double exposure, which is pretty cool. You can add elements, which is also pretty cool effects. So if I wanted to add some fog to this photo, some different shapes like hearts, we can have, sakura falling down. We can have dandelions if you want to, and it creates a cool little image and effect there, which I think is something pretty nice and a lot of photo bugs will really like. You can do something called face fusion as well too, and you can do the prismatic, so that's just adding, one photo and kind of, you can see here, you can do some pretty cool elements with it. Now, that's cool and it's definitely fun effects, but when you don't have a camera that's really giving you the photos that you look for and it's such a hit or miss with it, it really doesn't make you want to use the actual photo features within here. So that's a little bit disappointing there coming from HTC. But beyond that, let's take a look here. Really the performance. It's got basically phablet power inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM, an octa-core processor inside of it as well. This is a 32 gigabyte model. You do have SD card storage you can add on to it as well. And it's running Sense 7 based on Android 5.0 Lollipop. Now this is something that I did complain about before with HTC, which was their inconsistency when it came to their UI. They've actually done a good job of really making things more streamlined than before, especially with the theming. So that's one of the cool things you can do. You can click on a theme here, which we already have set up, and what you can do is you can choose from some recommended themes if you want to, or which I like to do is you can create your own based on a photo. So that's the home image right there. We're actually going to choose a different one. We're going to go to the gallery here, and let's choose, I guess, this one here, the one with the berries. We'll choose this one here, and we'll keep it as original. And we'll, I guess, zoom in. I guess that's a good shot there. We'll hit done. Done. Crop the photo. Now we're going to hit next. Now what it's going to do, it's going to take the most dominant colors and base the theme on those colors. As you can see right there, it looks like it's blue. And you get a few different options, and you can kind of scroll through to see what the icons and the fonts will look like. I kind of like this first one here. You can see how everything's going to look. You can go and edit this and actually get even deeper detail about changing icon sounds and fonts, but we'll actually choose this first one here. We'll hit next. We'll just name it theme 2 for right now. We'll hit OK. It's going to apply the theme. And once that is done, it takes a couple seconds obviously here. Once that's done, theme applied, hit OK, and you can see the entire theme has changed and has this new look to it. And what they'll also do is they'll also surround icons that necessarily are third-party icons, not necessarily from HTC, and try to kind of group it in there. Sometimes it'll be a little ugly when it does that, but it does look pretty good in this case here. But it keeps one nice theme. It's something I'm really happy HTC sort of added on here, which is pretty cool. I think it gives it more of a streamlined look and something unique that I would think other phones should really take a look at doing in terms of theming. Okay. As you can see, Sense 7 is a lot brighter, a lot colorful, like I said, with the theming. It's not as dark. I'm still not a fan of this up and down sort of style that they do with the menu system. I would like to see the scrolling left to right, but there's obviously some reasons why they do that, especially depending on what country that they have the phone is in, that they cater to a little bit more. Now, the next big thing that they put inside here is this home widget here. Now, this widget here actually can detect where you're either home or you're out or you're at work, and it will put the most relevant apps in front of you at the time to kind of use them. Now, you can also kind of decide if you want to pin an app on there. So if it brings up you want to count there at all times, you hold down. If you hold it down, you see a pinning icon there. And wait till it fills, and now it's pinned there and it'll always show up. They've also added these couple of extra folders to the downloads folder, which gives all your downloaded apps, which you can just kind of swipe left to right there to kind of check out. You also have here is your suggestions app, where we'll suggest apps to you based upon what you're downloading from the store and what you're using at the time, location, and such and so on. This is relatively okay, but it's not the most accurate from what I found with it. And it's something that is totally removable. If you want to get rid of it, you can remove it out of there if you don't want it there. You can also go into the menu and edit this along as well too. If you want to set your location, show and hide smart folders. If you want to hide it off, you can just go like that. And those folders will disappear just like that as well too. So boom, they're gone if you don't want them there, and they'll fill them with different applications if you want to. So it's a totally optional thing. Don't think it's the best thing that they kind of came up with that, but it's, like I said, it's a good try from HTC. I think the improvements to blink feed, which they've done here, which I'm still not the biggest fan of, is a little bit better in terms of its speed and performance. It does help that the octa-core processor inside of here, but it's nice to be able to kind of add your content, add your Google, Twitter, and stuff like that. And it does in a very, very good way. So I like the improvements with blink feed as well. So that's what you kind of see here. We'll actually swipe out here and you can see the home screen. You can see the different widgets you can add and such to customize as you go along. So there's no more room on the home screen here, but I can kind of add the buffer if I wanted to add buffer there. I can just do it just like that. So See that, let's bring that back out here. So like I said, performance is pretty good on here overall. Battery life is very good as well too. I've definitely been able to get through a whole work day without having to plug it in. What I like about it is that I can, if I forget to plug it in overnight, it doesn't die overnight. I was able to go through a whole day and have about 35% or so before the end of the day. I have several social networks, email accounts, and all sorts of stuff coming through here, and it still ends up coming out pretty good battery life throughout the day. And if I forget to charge it overnight, I still have enough battery to get to work to then plug it in and be fine at that point. So definitely good battery life here coming from HTC on the One M9, which is a pretty good thing here. Now, the other thing that they do have still included here is the boom sound speakers that you can see here. The grills are a little different shaped, as you can see here. The grills were a little bit longer on the One M8. They're a little bit shorter here on the One M9, but it still produces some very good sound. The best front firing speakers you're gonna see in the cell phone business, period, point blank. No one else is better. And we'll give you some samples of what some video sounds like and what some audio and music sounds like.
Remember him as our protector and not the one who gave us this. As our savior and not our betrayer. Let us see him forever as you and not as you. All hail the conquering hero.
You still have some gesture-based features like double tapping to turn on, which is pretty cool. That's something that they kept on the One M9, from the One M8 to the One M9. I really do like that feature on there. It makes it a lot quicker to kind of turn on your phone and such. But that is the One M9 in a nutshell. It is an interesting device where it's more of a, how they say, from tick to tock. It's like similar to how Apple makes the iPhone 5 and then the iPhone 5S, and this is pretty much the One M9 is sort of an S increment to the One M8 from its predecessor. You're really, the only main things you're getting is a different camera, which is questionable if it's better. I really do think the ultra pixel camera does a little bit better job here versus the 20 megapixel that's on here. You do get a similar display. You still get the same 5-inch 1080p display that you have on it. You get nice octa-core processing with it. Improved version of Sense, while not perfect, definitely much more improved with it, especially with the theming and customization, which is things that I like along with it as well. And overall, you get a pretty powerful phablet style processing side of it, like I said, with octa-core and 3 GB of RAM. And you get an overall great experience and something that's pretty comfortable in your hand. If you have a One M8 now, you're not really missing out on anything. I would definitely tell you to keep that and just wait for the software update to come, when most of the features on here will come down to the One M8 at some point, because I don't think the camera is definitely worth changing over for. But if you have a One M7, you do have an option between the One M8 and the One M9, and I think if you have this right now, your thought process should be, if I really want the best of cameras, you might want to go with the One M8, but if you want the latest technology, the One M9 is definitely something you want to take a look at. So this is BWOne here from BWOne. Thank you for watching this review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, and always remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.